Have you ever felt like a troublemaker, a dreamer, a rebel with a cause you couldn't quite name? If so, you've already met Tom Sawyer. Today, we're diving deep into Mark Twain's classic, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. But this isn't just a book report. This is a 10-minute journey into the heart of a boy who teaches us what it truly means to grow up, to find courage, and to discover the adventure hidden within ourselves. Our story begins on the sun-drenched banks of the Mississippi River in the sleepy little town of St. Petersburg. Here lives a boy whose spirit is as wild and untamed as the river itself, Tom Sawyer. To the grown-ups, he's a whirlwind of chaos, always skipping school, teasing his friends, and running off on some wild goose chase. He lives with his kind but perpetually exasperated Aunt Polly, who tries her best to tame his restless soul. But beneath all that mischief beats the heart of a boy searching for something more, for freedom, for belonging, and for a glimpse of the man he's destined to become. Tom's world is one of vibrant imagination, where every day holds the promise of a new adventure. And every corner of his small town is a potential stage for an epic story. He's not just a boy, he's a pirate, a general, a treasure hunter in waiting, and his first great lesson in life doesn't come from a school book, but from a long, boring fence. One sun-scorched Saturday morning, Tom's latest misdeed earns him a punishment from Aunt Polly. He must whitewash the entire front fence. The endless boards stretch out before him like a prison wall, mocking his plans for a day of freedom and fun. The sun beats down, and Tom feels utterly trapped, his spirit sinking with each brushstroke. This is it, he thinks, the worst day ever. But then, as his friends start to wander by, ready to laugh at his misfortune, a spark of genius ignites in Tom's mind. He realizes something profound. People desperately want what they think is rare and difficult to get. So, instead of complaining, Tom puts on a show. He paints with the intense focus of a master artist, making each stroke look like the most satisfying, important job in the world. When his friend Ben Rogers comes by, pretending to be a steamboat and ready to tease him, Tom barely glances up. He simply says that whitewashing a fence isn't work, it's a privilege, a chance not given to just any boy. Suddenly, the dynamic shifts. Ben is intrigued. He begs for a turn. Tom hesitates, pretending it's a great responsibility. Soon, other boys join in, each one eager for a chance at this exclusive opportunity. They start trading their most prized possessions, marbles, an apple, even a dead rat on a string, just for a few minutes with the brush. By afternoon, the fence has 3 coats of fresh whitewash, and Tom's pockets are bulging with treasures. But he didn't just get out of a chore, he learned a fundamental truth about human nature. He discovered that our perception of a task defines its value. With a little clever thinking, a burden can be transformed into a golden opportunity. This wasn't just about a fence. It was Tom's first masterclass in understanding the world. But Tom's life wasn't all clever tricks and sunny afternoons. The world of childhood games soon collides with the chilling reality of the adult world. One moonless night, driven by a thirst for adventure, Tom and his friend Huckleberry Finn sneak into the town graveyard. Huck is the ultimate outcast, the son of the town drunk, living on the fringes of society. He represents a kind of freedom that even Tom envies. They're there for a superstitious ritual, but what they witness is far more terrifying than any ghost story. The boys are paralyzed with fear. They swear a blood oath never to reveal what they saw, terrified of what Injun Joe would do to them. Tom is profoundly shaken. For the very first time, he feels the crushing weight of a real secret, the heavy line between childish pranks and irreversible consequences. He lies awake night after night, the horrific scene replaying in his mind. Guilt gnaws at him. He sees Muff Potter, a simple, harmless man, locked away, facing a terrible fate. Tom is trapped in a war within himself, torn between the paralyzing fear for his own life and the moral duty to do what is right. In the long, silent hours of those sleepless nights, Tom Sawyer begins to grasp a difficult truth. True courage isn't about being fearless. It's about knowing you're afraid and choosing to do the right thing anyway. The day of Muff Potter's trial arrives, and the stuffy courtroom is packed. The entire town has already condemned him. His guilt is considered a foregone conclusion. Tom sits among the crowd, his heart pounding like a drum, his body trembling like a leaf in a storm. He looks at Muff Potter's hopeless face, then remembers Injun Joe's menacing glare. Fear screams at him to stay silent, to keep his oath, to save himself. The prosecutor calls the final witnesses. The case seems closed. But then something inside Tom snaps. He can no longer bear the weight of his secret, the injustice of it all. He stands up. A hush falls over the courtroom. All eyes turn to this small boy. With a shaky voice that grows stronger with every word, Tom tells the truth. He recounts every detail of that terrible night in the graveyard, pointing directly at Injun Joe as the real murderer. In a flash, Injun Joe leaps from a window and escapes. But the truth is out. In that one moment of breathtaking bravery, Tom Sawyer transforms. The mischievous boy becomes a hero. He becomes a symbol of honesty in a world where truth is so often buried under layers of fear and convenience. He learns that standing for what's right might mean standing alone, but it's the only thing that allows you to stand tall. Later in the summer, during a town picnic, Tom's life takes another dramatic turn. He and his sweetheart, Becky Thatcher, decide to explore McDougal's Cave, a vast, dark labyrinth of underground tunnels. Hand in hand, they wander away from the group, deeper and deeper into the cave's winding passages, marking their path with candle smoke. But soon, they realize they are hopelessly lost. The endless, echoing darkness closes in around them. Their small candle burns lower and lower. Their meager food supply dwindles, and hope begins to fade. Days pass. In the cold, silent darkness, Tom feels Becky's trembling hand in his piss. He's no longer just a boy on an adventure. He is a protector. He realizes what it truly means to be responsible for someone else, to offer comfort when you feel none yourself, to be a leader when you are just as lost. He gives Becky the last of their food and constantly searches for a way out, refusing to give up. In that oppressive darkness, facing the very real possibility of death, Tom finds a new kind of strength. He follows a glimmer of light, a desperate hunch, and finally discovers a new exit, leading Becky back into the sunlight, back to safety. This was no game. This was a trial by fire, a true test of his character. And Tom walked out of that cave a changed young man, having faced the darkest parts of the world and the brightest parts of himself. The final act of Tom's grand adventure brings him full circle. He learns that while he and Becky were lost, the cave was sealed to prevent future accidents, unknowingly trapping Injun Joe inside. Later, Tom and Huck decide to go back to the cave, convinced that it's where Injun Joe hid his stolen treasure, and they are right. They find the criminal's body near the sealed entrance and nearby a chest filled with gleaming gold coins, enough money to make them rich, to make them legends in their small town. They are celebrated as heroes once again. But as Tom looks at the pile of gold, he understands something profound. The real treasure wasn't the coins. The true treasure was the journey itself. It was the lessons learned from a whitewashed fence, the courage found in a silent courtroom, and the responsibility discovered in a dark cave. It was the friendship with Huck, a bond that crossed social boundaries. Tom Sawyer started as a boy chasing thrills, but he became a young man who understood life's deepest truths. He learned that freedom isn't just about breaking rules, it's about taking responsibility. He learned that courage isn't about ignoring fear, it's about sacrificing your own safety for what is right. And he learned that the truth is a light powerful enough to shine in the darkest of places, even if you have to be the one to hold it up. Through all the riverbanks explored, pirates imagined, and treasures found, Tom Sawyer's greatest adventure wasn't in some faraway land. It was the journey inward, the discovery of the kind of person he wanted to be. And that is an adventure that continues for every single one of us. Thanks for watching. If this story sparked something in you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.